Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be recapping last night's playoff basketball. I had a couple game twos to the second round last night. Some very interesting things going down last night. We're going to talk about it all here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. It's my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the first game we had was the Cavaliers Celtics game 2, and the Cavaliers come out and whoop the Celtics, winning 118-94 and tie the series at 1, going back to Cleveland. Very interesting stuff. Game 1, obviously, Cleveland held in there in the first half, but then the Celtics came out in the second half and kind of, pushed the pace on them, and the Cavs couldn't really come back. This one, Celtics got off to a good start again. They were up like by 9 early in the first quarter, but then the Cavaliers slowly started to settle into the game, started to come back. They held a 6-point lead at the end of the first. There was a tie game at halftime, and then we get to the third quarter. And in the third quarter, the Cavaliers outscored Celtics 36-24. They hit 7 threes. Donovan Mitchell had 16 points in that quarter, while Boston was 0 for 8 from 3 and was 7 for 19 in that quarter. And yeah, from then on, it just was too much. The Celtics couldn't overcome it. They had a bad shooting night, especially in the second half. In the second half, the Celtics shot 2 for 18 from 3, 13 for 36 from the field, while the Cavs shot 10 for 18 from 3, 25 and 44 from the field, 56%. And the Cavs end up getting the win. Yeah, huge one for Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell continuing his amazing postseason performance, 29, 7, and 8 last night, 10 for 19 shooting. He only had 6 points in the first half, but he did have 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He was getting everybody else involved. And then once he got to the third quarter, that's when he started to kind of get it going. He had a couple 3-pointers. He hit that 3 to end the third quarter. That was a big momentum boost. And yeah, he's just playing amazing basketball right now. The big question for the Cavaliers for this series was, is anybody besides Donovan going to show up? We knew what Donovan was going to do, but can anybody else show up? And they did. They had 6 players scoring double figures. They had 3 players score 20 or more. And that's what it did. And huge credit, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley was the game changer in this one. He had his best game of his playoff career, 21, 10, and 5 with 2 blocks of steal, shot 9 for 15. He was a plus 35 in this game. He was phenomenal on both ends. He's phenomenal in this game. Of course, you know what he's going to do defensively. He's an elite defensive player. He's even guarding Jaylen Brown for a couple possessions and doing a good job there. Every time the Celtics try to get to the rim, Evan Mobley was right there. Even though he wasn't in a little bit of foul trouble at the end of near the middle of the third quarter, it still worked out for them. And then offensively, a lot more aggressive. We saw in game 1 in the fourth quarter, he had 11 points. He started to be a little more aggressive, and he came out like that to start this game. A lot more aggressive, more decisive, and I keep saying that aggressive Evan Mobley makes this team a whole lot better. He had a 3-pointer in this game as well. He was just he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. And even Donovan Mitchell shouted him out in his post-game interview. The first thing he said was, "Shouts to Evan Mobley," because Evan Mobley really was the game changer in this one. Karis LeVert as well having a really good game. 21 and 6, shot 9 for 17 from the field. He was amazing in this game as well, coming off the bench, giving some, providing some energy, some scoring. Darius Garland hit 4 threes. He had 14, 7, and 4. Nice to see him have a good game. Max Strus hit a couple 3-pointers. He also played some great defense on Jason Tatum. Isaiah Okoro had 12 points as well in this game. And yeah, the Cavaliers, seeing this game, they play with a lot more pace. They got out in transition. Every time they got a rebound, every time they got like a steal or something, it feels like they're all going. Go and go, 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 go. Try to score easy points in transition. That's how you're going to win. And then when you hit 13 threes as well, that's big. You get 9 threes combined from your backcourt of Donovan and Darius. That's bigger than Evan Mobley as well. Playing some really good basketball. For the Celtics, also they won the rebounding battle. Cleveland out rebounded them 44-31. That's big as well. But then for the Celtics, one, you get a bad shooting night, 8 for 35 from 3, 23% from 3. Derek White, who had been absolutely amazing the last couple games, 1 for 8 from 3. Jaylen Brown was 0 for 6, Jrue Holiday 0 for 2. Al Horford got the most attempts. Al Horford was 3 for 7. They were letting Al Horford shoot that one. But everybody else couldn't really get it going. Tatum, 25, 7, and 6, which numbers-wise, you look at the box score, it looked good, but I didn't really feel like he had that type of impact on the game. Like, he had some good moments. He was facilitating. He was trying to get to the rim. But there's also a lot of times where he's just trying to go one-on-one. Didn't make work. And shout out to Max Strus. He played some great defense in this game as well. He was getting to the free throw line at least for Boston, trying to keep him in this game. but it just didn't really feel like a great game from him. Jaylen Brown, 19 points. He was 7 for 17, 0 for 6 from 3. He was a minus 29 in this game. Evan Mobley did a great job defending him. And then, yeah, Derek White gets a bad shooting night. Drew Holiday didn't, you don't even remember Drew Holiday was on the court, to be honest. 4 points, 2 for 7. And then Payne Pritchard tried. Payne Pritchard had 13 off the bench. But after that, no one else. Like Luke Cornett played 12 minutes, didn't really do much. Xavier Tillman played 11 minutes, didn't do much. Sam Hauser played 9 minutes, didn't do much. So yeah, just a rare, just bad game from Boston. Especially when the 3-point shots are falling. Again, they shot what? In the second half, they shot 2 for 18 from three. That's tough, you know. But getting blown out at home like this is tough. And this is very similar to the Miami Heat series in the first round where they lost game two because Miami outshot them. But I think the difference between the Heat game and this game is that I feel like the Cavs didn't do anything extraordinary. Like the Heat literally had Tyler Hero had 15 assists. They hit 23 threes. Like they had like dang near like a once in a not a lifetime, but they had like a franchise type game, you know, for them just to beat the Celtics. The Cavs, they didn't really have that. Like yes, like they didn't have any spectacular shooting. Like they were 13 for 28 from three. That's pretty good, but it's not like they hit 23, 24 threes in this game. It's not like Donovan Mitchell had 55 or anything. And it's not like anybody had really like a out of body experience. Maybe you could say Evan Mobley. I guess he had his best career playoff game, but it's not like he had 30. Like he had 21, 10, and 5. LeVert had 21. Like no one had like a out of body once a series type of performance. I feel like. You know, so the Cavaliers should hang their head high and have something to hang on to for Game Three. You know, for Game Three, Boston, you just need to come out and flat out just perform better. Like there's a lot of times where it just felt like they were just jacking up shots, jacking up threes. It got to like a 9 point lead for the Cavaliers, and Boston kind of went into like panic mode and just started taking threes, pulling up threes, putting up threes, putting up threes, which is what their game plan kind of is. But it just wasn't really that effective, and they need their stars. They need the Jays to perform better too. Tatum and Brown need to have more impact on the game. They need to be the all stars that they are in this one, you know. But I'm not super worried about the Celtics. I mean, again, when you shoot so many threes and stuff like they do, you're prone to have a night where it's just nothing's going in, and that was last night. Just felt like everything they put up was just not going in, especially in the second half. And Cleveland took advantage of it. And now Game Three is interesting. Game Three is an interesting game. So we'll see what happens on that front. And next we had Mavericks Thunder Game 2. The Mavericks come back and win this game 119 to 110. They tie the series at 1 as well, going back to Dallas. This is a very good game. You know, Dallas came out from the get-go. Luka had 16 points in the first quarter. You know, Dallas came out hot from three, and it was like, oh shoot, is this a Luka game? Is this the game where the offense kind of breaks out? You know, and they had a really good first half shooting the ball wise. I mean, they shot what 53% from the field, 50% from three. They hit as many threes in the first half of this game that he did the entirety of game one. They had 12 threes. PJ Washington was on fire. I felt like everything was going well. Yeah, it was only a 6 point game at halftime. OKC was right in there. In the third quarter, OKC came out, did some good things, you know, kind of dwindled the lead a little bit. They were always in the game, but Dallas just you know, kept it up. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a big second half. And then we got to the fourth quarter, and Luka did his thing. Tim Hardaway Jr. hit some big shots. PJ Washington did, and OKC just missed a lot of opportunities. I feel like OKC had a lot of chances. I feel like in this game, but they just missed a lot of opportunities. And Dallas comes out with the win. Luka 29, 10, and 7. Again, he came out. He had 16 in the first quarter. Kind of was quiet the second and first half of the third. But once the game got into clutch time, he hit some big shots and did some great things to win this game. That's what superstars do. And yeah, Luka looked a lot more healthy. Looked a lot more, pep in his step, especially coming out. I mean, that first quarter, he hit what, 4 threes, which is more than he's hit in the last couple games combined. Like he was on fire from three to start. And I was like, oh shoot, is this the Luka 40 or something game that we haven't seen yet? But he slowed down. But when the game mattered, he needed it. But PJ Washington, this was the PJ Washington game. PJ Washington and Tim Hardaway Jr. game. PJ Washington, 29 and 11. He hit 7 threes. He was phenomenal in this game. Every time Dallas needed a big 3-pointer to fall, he'd hit it, especially in that first half. OKC, remember in game one, I said, I feel like the game plan for OKC defensively was if anybody but Luka or Kyrie shoot the ball, we won that possession. Let everybody else shoot. And PJ Washington was like, oh, really? Okay. They let him shoot, and he made him pay. So that's huge to have him have that type of performance. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr., who has not really done much in this playoffs. He missed a couple games due to injury. I think coming into today, he's scored 8 points combined in the playoffs, and he had 17 last night. 17 points. He had 10. Oh no, no, 13. Oh no, no, he had 10 in the third quarter. He had a 4 point play that he missed a free throw on. He had another foul on a three. He had a couple big shots in the fourth quarter. He had a big 3 pointer. So like, yeah, like that was just huge stuff from Tim Hardaway Jr. Staying ready, coming off the bench. Hasn't really done much in the series. I honestly was thinking early in the first half, I was like, why is he even playing at this point? Like, there's no really point to him playing if he's not doing much. But he came out, had a big game too. Josh Green also had 11 points. He had three pointers in this game. Gafford had 13 and 7. So yeah, great stuff. It's amazing that Dallas could get a win without Kyrie Irving doing much. He had 9 points, 2 for 8 from the field. Just couldn't really find a shot, but he had 11 assists and was playing some really good defense. So shout out to Kyrie. He's been doing it all season. Even though he's not scoring, he's finding other ways to impact the game and win his team the game. So yeah, when you get a performance where Kyrie only has 9 points and you can still win, that's huge for the Mavericks. I mean, for OKC, the thing is, I didn't feel like they played a really bad game. It's just they didn't hit on opportunities. They were 10 for 30 from three. They shot 33% from three. I feel like in the second half, yeah, 28% from three. In the fourth quarter, they had bad shooting fourth quarter. They were 8 for 24, 1 for 7 from three, only 5 free throw attempts for the team. And yeah, I feel like they just missed out on a lot of opportunities. Whether they're like down three, down four, and they missed a shot or turned the ball over at one point, and it just led to Dallas hitting a couple shots. Shea, 33, 12, and 8, shot 13 for 24. He was amazing this game as well. J Dub, 24 and 4. I feel like he was kind of keeping OKC in the game, especially in the first half. And yeah, they kind of limited Chet Holmgren a little bit. 11, 6, and 6. He had two blocks still. He was only 4 for 12 and 1 for 6 and 3. Interesting to see the Mavericks defensive scheme in this one, where instead of having Gafford guard Holmgren, Derrick Jones Jr. actually was guarding Chet Holmgren in this game, which is very interesting, kind of putting a more smaller, more athletic guy on him. So, because usually Chet's getting guarded by centers, and centers aren't usually as athletic or move as well as him. But instead, they put Derrick Jones Jr. on him, and it kind of limited him a little bit. And they put Daniel Gafford on Josh Giddey in this game. And I think PJ Washington guarded Shea. Oh, no, Kyrie's guarding Shea. I think PJ Washington was guarding um, J Dub, I want to say, if I can remember. I think that's how it went. But yeah, that was interesting to see. And then just didn't really get big, but like Lou Dort, 8 points. He did have 5 fouls. He's a foul trouble a lot of this game. Keeson Wallace had a solid game. Aaron Wiggins had 9. Didn't play as much as I feel like he should have. Isaiah Joe hit a 3. Jalen Williams had a really good start to this game, 8 and 4. He had a couple 3 pointers in this game. Josh Giddey though, Josh Giddey, we saw a little bit in the regular season where there are times where he kind of got played off the court a little bit because if he's not hitting shots or doing much, he's not hitting threes. He's kind of become a liability a little bit in the offensive end because opposing teams just put the center on him, so the center can kind of roam around and basically play 5-on-4. And if Josh Giddey wants to shoot a three, go ahead, let him. You know, and so far in this series, Dallas has done that. Like they have Daniel Gafford guarding Josh Giddey, so Daniel Gafford could come around and help off on drives and stuff like that. And Josh Giddey is becoming unplayable in this series. He only played 10 minutes. He didn't start the second half. He was a minus in a game where it was a 9 point game. I think the biggest lead maybe for Dallas was like what, 12 or I don't even know. Josh Giddey was a minus 20 in this game. Minus 20 in only 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. He's a minus 20. Nobody on either team even comes close to that plus minus. Even in game one. In game one, where OKC won this game by over 20 points. He was a minus 7. So, yeah, Josh Giddey has not been good in the series. And honestly, it's looking to a point where, yeah, he's kind of unplayable right now. Like, if you're Mark Dagnall, I don't know if I don't know. I think you start Josh Giddey for game 3. But if he's still not doing much, honestly, I don't think it's crazy to take him out of the lineup. Maybe he could play a couple minutes off the bench. But if he can't provide much at all and can only play like really 8 or 9 minutes, then what's really if he's a minus 20 in the game, like how I don't know how you really even play him at this point. Like I don't know where he fits in unless he's hitting shots. Where that's something where it's like if Josh Giddey hits 3 or 4 threes, Dallas is like, okay, he hit 3 or 4 threes. That's just what it is. Do it again next game. And do it again the game after that. We'll let him. It just looks. I mean, you could tell it just looks so much better when you have an Aaron Wiggins on the court, you have an Isaiah Joe on the court, or a Case and Wallace on the court. Someone else that can space the floor out, someone that you can't leave open, someone that can knock down open shots and make plays. So yeah, that's really the big thing for OKC is the Josh Giddey situation and what's gonna happen, how Mark Daigneault is gonna play the Josh Giddey minutes. Like I assume he's probably gonna start game three. He might play a little bit, and if he's not doing much, he's gonna sit back on the bench, maybe come in a little bit at the end of the second quarter, maybe not start like he didn't start the second half in this game. Just tough. But OKC, again, I don't feel like they played a bad game. Like I liked what I saw from OKC. It was just they just rare couldn't capitalize in the fourth quarter, where usually they are a really good fourth quarter team. It just didn't really work in their favor in this game. They missed a lot of big shots, even like some and ones that, or potential and ones that they just missed. Like I remember Shea had an and one that rolled out, and he was just like, "Oh my!" Jalen Williams also had one as well. It's just just missing easy opportunities. I feel like it was what lost OKC this game. But shout out to the Mavericks. They tied the series at one, and now we get some stuff, man. We had a couple 2-0 series in the second round. You know, those series played tonight. I'm very interested to see what happens tonight because these are two huge games. Difference between 2-1 and 3-0. Difference between series being over and, getting a little bit more excitement. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.